questions will be on that quiz. So you do need to know how to solve quadratic equations. Someone remind me, what are our 3 options for solving quadratic equations? No. Solving quadratic equations. Factoring. Right. Taking square roots. Graphically, in the quadratic formula, you need to know how to function all of those things tomorrow. Okay? Factoring, solving by square roots, solving graphically, and solving using the quadratic formula. You know all 4 of those things. Then we have graphing quadratics and looking at the vertex, axis of symmetry, and all of those questions. That was actually section 3.1, but we did section 3.2 first. We did that backwards. But anyway, so vertex form, you need to memorize vertex form. I'm not going to give that to you, so you have to know a times x minus h squared plus k, and how to work with vertex form. Any other questions? So the last 2 sections, but it's been like a week and a half of work, partly because we've been so yes. So anyway, all of those will be on the quiz tomorrow. So be ready for that. Come ready tomorrow. I'm giving you time tonight to study. Catch up on any homework you need to catch up on. Study. So please. Yep. Good. All right. So let's do this over. State the vertex. The graph is how I keep up and down. And then state a window which shows the shape of the graph and includes the vertex. Finding the vertex is key to answering this question. If you know where the vertex is and you know if it opens up or down, wouldn't that really help you set the window? So, one of the biggest problems with quadratic functions is people struggling to set the window. Well, if you could find the vertex by hand pretty quick, then you could set the window. Speaking of vertex, negative b over 2a is another formula you'll want to know tomorrow. So what is the vertex? Good. Negative 18 over 2 times 2, right? And 18 divided by 4, as Bailey said, is negative 9 over 2. And then, how do you get the y value of the vertex? Plug that in. You get it. And either a fraction or a decimal is fine either way. You may want to get a decimal when you go to answer the x min, x max question, just so you know where those are. Vertex form. Now that I have the vertex, y equals 2. Where did I get the 2x squared? The a stays the same from standard form to vertex form. That's plus 9 over 2 minus 9 over 2. Again, if you do those exceptions, that is also wonderful. Any questions so far? Are we concave up or concave down? Concave up. Now, to find the x min and x max, y min and y max, I am going to use my calculator and kind of play around with it a little bit. But what I would want to do is I would notice that that vertex is at 4.5 and 32.5. Why do I need to know that? Why do I need to know that the vertex is at 4.5, 32.5? Why is that important? Why do I need to know where the vertex is when I'm setting my window to see this quadratic? Because I want to see the vertex. That's right. So in y equals, I'm going to put 2x squared plus 18x plus 8. If I just look at the graph here, I can't see it, but I can tell what I need to do, right? I need to go down. I need to fit that negative, what was it, 32 and a half? Since I'm opening up, isn't negative 32 and a half my lowest point? So I'm just going to go down to negative 33. I could go farther, but I know I'm not going down from there. That's my bottom point. So negative 33, my Y max of 10 is probably a little excessive, but you could leave it there if you want to. Now let's see what the picture looks like. Yes. Is this a good picture? Do we have a little bit of unnecessary space? Probably. This space over here is completely unnecessary since I never go over there. But as long as you get the vertex in and the full parabola in, I'm not going to count off. Now, yes. Absolutely. The likelihood that we all get the same answer would be slim to none. Now, I say that, and so someone's going to go, hey, I'm just going to zoom out until is that going to work? Not necessarily. Can you get so far out that you can't see the picture? Yes, so don't just zoom out. Even though there is a wide range of answers, not every answer is correct. Just go make sure you fit the vertex in and can see the whole parabola. If you zoom out too far, it won't look like a parabola. It'll look like a line. You may just not even be able to see it at all. So a little too, yeah, but it would. Do you see why we don't need the y's any bigger than what we have here? Because that's plenty to see the parabola. Negative, what did I do? Negative 33. But of course, you could do whatever if you see the whole parabola and you see it well, you're getting a point. As long as you can see the parabola. I did negative 10 to 10. Negative 10 to 0 would have been a better window because, again, we didn't need that right-hand side at all, but either way. When I'm grading this, I'm going to look to make sure that your vertex is in that window. And then I'm going to make sure that if you're concave up, it goes up from there. If you're concave down, it goes down from there. Okay, let's look at the next one. Back to what Allie asked earlier, we get different answers. If you get the same answer as more than like 5 people, I would probably suspect cheating. Because you're very likely to get very different answers. So just note that I kind of expect that you don't all get the same answers. Like Kyle said, I picked negative 35. Is that a good pick? Absolutely. So not that I'm saying I'm not getting the same answers, but it would be a little suspicious if you all got the same answer. 25 over 2. So you got 4, 12.5 either way. And what do you get? Someone who's already plugged in, and what do you get? 775. Any questions about that? Did you get some in? Did you put parentheses? Well, you got what? Different y value or different x? Well, let me check. I got that. Let me see your calculator. Foolproof way to do it. Use your table. That way you don't mess up. Is this what we're supposed to do? You forgot to square on the 25 over 2. What up? Do you know what I mean by using a table? If you type the original in y equals, then you can go type 12 and a half in your table, and it will take care of parentheses and all of that for you, which is nice. You don't have to do it that way. So. Anyone else need calculator help on that one, getting a different answer? Your invalid dimension just means your stat plot is turned on. No, it's not. Okay, no. Did you try to stat, or did you go to
I just went to like
and you were going to type 12.5. What it's saying is your window's not big enough to see it.
okay.
So yeah, go to your table instead, because you don't have to. This would stay this way.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Vertex Form. -3 times x minus 25 over 2 squared plus 768.75. Concave up or down? Very good. Let's talk about window here. Since we are concave down, what's the highest point? Highest point. The vertex, right? Okay, so let's figure out how to get that in. So in my window, where was my vertex x value of my vertex? 12 and a half. So probably no need to be all the way back at -10, right? So I'm going to go from 0 to 25. Someone tell me why I would go from 0 to 25. Doesn't have to be exactly that, but why is that a good fit? Where's 12 and a half? Right between 0 and 25, right? Don't I want the vertex right in the middle of this graph, but at the top? My y min probably has no need to be negative. In fact, 0 is probably bigger than necessary, but I'm going to put 0 in as my y min. For my y max, what do I need to put? 800 would be great, right? Something bigger than 768. You could even just do 770 or something close, but it has to be bigger than 770 or 768. I'm going to do 800. That was the suggestion. Is that a good picture? Could I stand to either go up on my window or out further? Not on this one. But if we did need the zeros, wouldn't I need to go farther out left and right? Well, I made it show this. So you have to make it show. Same window. Go to y equals. Check your equation. Did you put a square on x? It shouldn't matter. Because vertex form should be completely equivalent. Shouldn't matter. Let me see your... That shouldn't matter. Let me see it. Should be fine. You did plus instead of minus. Other than that, though, you can do that. I would probably recommend graphing it in whatever form they give it to you in, just in case you make a mistake on your conversion. But they should be the same thing. Okay, any questions about that window? Is that the only answer? No. The part of that answer that's important is the 800 or something up there close to 800 for the y max. And again, those could all be different as long as you see the parabola picture of them. some word problems fun. You had some of these in that book, didn't you? The 3 problems from the book. Were those all word problems? No, we're going to grade it tomorrow. At the beginning of class tomorrow, we'll grade the worksheet, and then we'll take quizzes. Yes, I will grade that. You might have had to glance back at the textbook, but I bet it's in the textbook. Okay, a ball is thrown up at 64 feet per second from a release point 7 feet above the ground. Write an equation of a quadratic function to represent the situation. If you do take a physics course, you'll have to memorize that formula. And different versions of it. Feet, meters. And if it's on the moon, changes it a little bit. That negative 16 is the gravity constant in feet on Earth. If you change it to meters, it's negative 4.9. If you are on the moon or something else, it would have to do with the gravity constant on whatever planet you were on. But most of the time we throw a ball, it's on the Earth, so unless it's a golf ball on the moon or something. Might have happened once. Okay, so if you have this equation, we're just going to fill in the pieces of information. It says that the initial velocity is the little v, and the initial height is the little h. So I have an initial velocity of 64 and an initial height of 7. So my quadratic equation, my quadratic function, is negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 7. Any questions so far? Find the vertex. How do we find the vertex? Just like we have been. It has t's instead of x's. Don't let that confuse you. Alright, we'll just do t equals negative b over 2 times a. Is that 2? And how do I find the y value of the vertex? Plug that in. 32. 96, 7, 103. I don't know. You'll better check this. 71. Oh yeah, because it's times 4. You're right. I mean, what does this represent? It is the maximum, but what piece represents what? What's the 71? That's the highest the ball went. The ball went 71 feet at its highest. What's the 2? Time in seconds. How long it took to get to that maximum height, right? It took 2 seconds to get to a maximum height of 71 feet. I would take a lot of different ways to say it, but somehow tell me the x and the y. But as far as the wording of the sentence, you could word it a lot of different ways. How long does does it take for the ball to hit the ground? What am I going to try to do there? X-intercepts, Y-x-intercepts. So the ball falls to the height of 0, right, would be when it hits the ground. So I need to do negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 7 equals 0. Now typically that gives me two answers, right? Am I going to want both of those answers? There's only one ball, and it's only going to hit the ground one time. The other one is kind of a back in time answer, and we don't want that answer. It doesn't make sense. I mean, you'll see that when we look at it on the graph. You could use the quadratic formula. This one does not factor equally, but pay attention to that. If a negative 16 factored out everything, by all means factor it. Remember, that's quick. But this one doesn't factor quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and use the calculator. If for some reason it made me use the quadratic formula, just read directions. My window is still set for that huge parabola, remember? So there's a reason I'm only seeing a little bitty, so we probably want to change our window. 0 to 25 is probably still fine, but it looks like there's a little, I'm going to go ahead and do negative 10, and then what was the top point of my parabola? 71, so to 80. Why did I go ahead and do negative 10? What is the x, right? So it'd be hard to see if that's the very equals the size of the function. 0 and y2 if you want to use the intersection, or you can use the zeros button either way. I want to go over to the, because this one so far, I put